What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of Meet the Press with myself, Tyler Dixon, and Jared McDonald. Ooh, got it that time over there with hanging out with his Snows barbecue hat as usual. Busy day, or for me at least, with Easter. I know you obviously had to work. Being a
Yeah,
working man, you are.
yeah. Holiday tradition for me is spent in the office designing pages for the sports section.
Like I, I remember those days, and I say that like I'm an old man and I'm looking back on past lives, but I don't know. It was always kind of nice because you would always sometimes get like a random person that would bring in food and you can have like your own little potluck kind of thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of miss
I
those
usually
days.
I usually just spend the day before I get in driving around trying to find a place that's open because even a lot of the fast
Right.
food places are closed. Like I tried to go to Raising Cane's earlier, and then right down the road from that is the Zaxby's. I tried to go there, couldn't get that either. Eventually found Popeyes. Got those chicken tenders, chicken
Because
strips, whatever you want to call them.
chicken, yeah. So Popeyes was open. So you did get chicken today.
Yes, I did. I
That's great.
I don't know why that's what I wanted, but that's what I wanted for Easter apparently.
We had several things. We went to my aunt's house. It was your traditional potluck. But I I know like I had a spring break last week, so like nothing happened in my life. I'm assuming I know the most important thing that happened in your life in the last week, in your work life anyway.
Yeah, there was some pretty big news. Western Kentucky got a pretty big signee, and
Okay, okay,
Kentucky.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay, okay, okay.
Pretty big.
Yeah, pretty
Okay, I'm
big.
gonna let you finish. I'll let you finish.
Yeah, Kentucky transfer, in-state kid. Won Mr. Basketball while he was at Pendleton County. Mr. Dante Allen. He committed, and then shortly after was announced as signed with Western Kentucky. That's going to be an important player for them moving into this uh, coming season this winter.
I obviously there's a lot of thought of disdain that I have toward Dante Allen, and I don't. I want Dante Allen to have all the success in the world, but I think it goes back to the thing. I think I'm more upset at the system. Like I don't know if the Mr. Basketball is a career award or a senior year award, whatever. You can play 14 games, average 45, win a Mr. Basketball. That's fine. Um, but now it's funny as we look back though. I feel like it could have been David Johnson to win Mr. Basketball that year, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, no, but I agree with you. It's kind of
Yeah,
interesting because we both covered in a way, um, both of those guys that you
yeah.
talked about. Not David Johnson as much. I know I got to watch him a lot at the state tournament his senior year when they
Hmm.
won it, but Pendleton County was just outside of the coverage area when I was working at the Ledger Independent in Maysville,
Hmm.
Kentucky. So I got to see him whenever they played one of our area teams. So I got to,
Hmm.
talk to him quite a bit, get to know him and his family a little bit. And on the other hand, you covered another Mr. Basketball candidate that year in
I
Kiki
did.
Tandy.
Kiki Tandy. Yes.
But yeah, kind of like what you were going off of. Is it a career award? Is it a senior season award? Because it's only given to seniors. Um,
Right. It is.
there's no clear instructions on that, so it's not like you can. There wasn't. I don't think either one would have been a bad candidate. David Johnson
Right.
well that
Right.
year, and that
Again,
was
it
a
is.
that was a
It's
really strong class.
it was a really good class. That's a good like that's what I was gonna say. It was a really good class. But to go on the point of him at Western, number one, I think it's great. Like I love when schools in that state get kids from that state. I think that's great. What do they have? What 6 Mr. Basketballs now? Or they've had
Uh,
6
fi-
Mr. Basketballs, I think.
I think it's five under Rick
5.
Stansberry. Yeah,
5 under 8. Okay.
like
And I
9 or
mean,
10 overall.
and my favorite of all time, Davion Hollingsworth. But I think from a basketball standpoint, from a state pride, kind of get behind your program, I think it's a great move. I love it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, he's just really good at basketball too.
And
He-
he's
He's a
and he's
he's
a
a
good shooter. Yes, he's a good shooter.
Yeah, he's really good. He's long. He's athletic.
Mhm.
A lot of people will knock his defense, but I don't think you lose anything at Western Kentucky by getting him on the floor
Fair. Fair.
defensively. You add offensively though.
Right.
He's a kid. He saw limited action at Kentucky. Played in 18 games last year, only 6.7 minutes per game. Played 22 games the year before, an average, 5.4 points, 1.5 rebounds, and shot nearly 40% from three with 31 makes. Obviously Kentucky was a little bit down 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Redshirted his first year there, but with that red shirt and with the COVID year, he still has 3 years of eligibility left at Western. So there's a lot of upside with that signing.
I think that's going to be especially big for them because I mean they lost. I mean, you obviously know they lost a few pretty big pieces from this past year's team. Am I? I mean,
Um, they lost some. I'd say the
some okay,
biggest, yeah, they lose guys like Josh Anderson and
right, okay,
Cam Justice.
but
Cam wasn't even.
you still have a
And
Davion McKnight.
you still have Davion McKnight. They
Yeah,
lost Jarius Hamilton, who was
okay,
starting forward for them. Averaged 12.7 points, I believe, was their third leading scorer. 5.4 rebounds, about half an hour a game. Um, it's 30 minutes for those of you that aren't good at telling time.
that was super
Uh,
weird. I've never heard anyone say that before in reference to babasketball time. Yeah, he plays
no,
about an hour a game.
no, I've never said that either. That's why I kind of wanted to
That threw
correct
me
myself.
off at
I was
first.
like, "What am I saying?" But yeah,
Um,
half an hour a game. That's going to be a saying now. You heard it
ooh,
first here on Meet the Press.
I don't like it.
But yeah, he's a big loss. But also, he was never a guarantee to come back. He's already, played a couple of years at Boston College, played a year at Maryland. So in a traditional, college basketball setting, he would have used up his eligibility by now. But with that COVID
Right.
year, he has an extra year. If he gets a good opportunity somewhere else, he can go there. He can go play professionally somewhere if he wants to. So I always loved covering him. He's a really nice kid. He was a fun basketball player to watch. So I hope it all works out for him at the end. It's obviously a big loss for Western, but they've got some pieces back. Jordan Rawls was a guy that he's committed to coming back. He was there for a couple of years. Went to Georgia State, played a little bit there before getting back in the transfer portal. Um, so
And
yeah,
then you
they'll have
have
some pieces.
and then you have the returning Conference USA Defensive Player of the Year,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah,
Isn't that right? Hop Town
yeah.
versus
That,
everybody? Yeah.
that, is that a saying?
Yeah, of course, yeah, it's a saying, man. Hop Town versus everybody. Yeah, it's a saying.
Well, I'm not as familiar with Hoptown as you. I've been there like twice. Never
Understandable.
went to Stadium
Understandable.
of Champions. I saw you at Stadium of Champions. I used one of your pictures from when we were together at Stadium of Champions
Oh, man, I
two,
don't
3 years ago now.
they all run together there.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
yeah.
a Logan County Hoptown game.
I assumed it was a Logan
Hoptown won
County.
that. The Mercer kid. He had like 3 interceptions that
Oh
game.
yeah, DeJohn, yeah.
He's another kid with a lot of
Dude,
upside.
he's gonna be so much fun. Like
Oh yeah,
I have a picture from Tillman whenever they played Tillman sometime in the playoffs a couple years ago, and like it's like a perfect interception. Yeah, I think he had 3 that game, and it's oh my gosh, it's great. But yeah,
yeah.
super a lot of upside for him. But
If I was a betting man, I'd put money that he's going to be a fun player to watch in the future.
do you okay? So do you gamble? Do you
I
gamble?
uh, Not seriously. Like
Okay,
I'll go down to Kentucky Downs every now and again, and I'll set up like 20, $30 maybe. Um, I don't plan on winning anything. I treat it as like an activity that I'm going to spend $20 or $30 at.
right,
Like if
exactly.
I was going to the movies or something. I do
Right,
it
right,
like
right,
that
right,
because I
right.
I don't I'm not good at it. I've bet horses when I'm at the track. I never do it when I'm not, and I've never
Right.
won on a single race. I bet Justify to win. The Kentucky Derby, but I was there. I was wet. I was miserable. It was the wettest Derby ever. So I
I
think it was
know.
part of like
Yeah.
a trifecta. I didn't hit that, but I had Justify winning it in it. So
So
I wanted to make it worth my while if I was gonna.
you did all of these things. You went to all of these events and you gambled at all of these events in the state of Kentucky. But the brilliant lawmakers that you still have over there. I'm a Missouri resident now. I'm done with that. That you still have over there. Sure most know sports betting, sports gambling did not make it through the Senate, died again. Like the future of most things in Kentucky. And but the same politicians who are against this are going to be waving their handkerchiefs at Churchill in a few weeks, getting ready to bet on the Derby.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I'm it
a lot of
it
them
really
have been
grinds
at
my gears.
Keeneland and Lexington lately. So
Yeah, yeah. So
I
I think it's the most hypocritical thing to say yeah, man, this gets us a lot of revenue. This is a really great thing. Oh, let's do sports gambling. Ah, it's against our religious beliefs, but hey, go damn horses though. Like it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense.
Yeah. No, I'm not like, I think it should be allowed, um, just because I have no problem with it, like a lot of things. I probably wouldn't do it just because I know how bad I'm at gambling. We do those gridiron guessers just for fun in the paper every fall,
Oh yeah, I
pick
know.
like 6 high school football games in the area, uh, 3 college games typically. This is just the normal setup, Kentucky, Western, and Louisville games, and then, the Titans game. And traditionally, I have been very bad at that, I gotta brag on myself. The start of this past season, I was terrible, but,
I feel
e
like
we were in a position, and I came back. I liked where I was at. I believed in the process, trusted the process, and I came back and I won.
I believe
But I wouldn't spend money on it.
I believe the pick'em is basically just for readers to complain about us and tell us we don't know what we're talking about. Because number one, like I've been in the like WPSD Paducah Sun pick'em before, and like winning that is great. Like I've never won it. I don't mean to insert that. I've never won that, but like it's fun to talk about it with like all the guys every week. But that bragging rights is fun. But I feel like fans get more out of it whenever I pick X over Y and X loses by 40. Oh, that Dixon dude from down in wherever, he don't know what the hell he's talking about. Like, I feel like that's the biggest thing for fans. But
Yeah, my issue with it is I'm always like, "This team could beat this team." I'm like, "This could be
right,
my chance. This could be my chance to move ahead." It usually is not.
it
I'm
usually is
usually
not.
I'm usually dead wrong.
But to go back to the original point, I am a gambler. I do gamble on sports. Sorry. I understand a lot of people might not like that, but I hop in my Jeep, drive across the bridge, make my bets. Um, in Illinois because I live in Missouri. Um, and and it's funny because I've seen other cars like as I'm parked doing that, I see other cars like a few over do that same thing. Um, it's interesting because I see both sides of it. I see why it could be bad. I understand that, but you've also legalized alcohol. You've legalized other things that some could be perceived as bad. Um, But I just think if you're gonna celebrate horse racing, celebrate, I mean, gambling, that kind of thing. I mean, well, you have a brand new place down in Oak Grove. I mean, you have Ellis Park up in Henderson. You have what one you mentioned one earlier. Then you have Keeneland. You have Churchill. You have all these places that are some of the most prideful things of your state. I mean, we're Kentucky. I mean, you're horse racing through and through. But no, you can't gamble on a basketball game. I I just think that's not fair. I just don't
Yeah.
like that.
And the thing with that too is, like I said, I like to go to Kentucky Downs every now and again and blow through 20 or $30,
Mhm.
nothing major. Um, that's on slots. They call it historical horse racing, but I've never seen anything with any relation to any kind of
Right.
horse racing stuff. It's just random slot machines. You just put your ticket in or whatever you do and push the button and hope it comes out in your favor.
And I'm not one that I can't drop $500 on a game, like or on a something. If I drop $50, I'm a little stressed out about it. Like I'm not gonna like it's. I'm not somebody that yeah, my unit's 100 or my unit is 500. My unit's maybe $10, $25 or something. Like I'm not one that's gonna go out and lose my mortgage on that.
Yeah, I could
Um,
see that people that I
oh
could see
yeah,
how that could
100%.
happen. Though, yeah,
I mean, you throw $10 down and you hit a ridiculous parlay that comes out with like $600, and you're like, well, that was super easy. And then you do it again for 3 weeks and you don't hit, and then it's like, oh wow, that's not as easy as I thought it was.
yeah,
Um, but I do get it. I'm just extremely frustrated that again, you celebrate horse racing, you celebrate all that it entails, but you're gonna say, oh well, for religious purposes, we're not gonna allow gambling in our state. I just don't feel like I just don't like it. Just don't like it.
Maybe someday.
Oh, it'll be. I'm. I think it'll happen in the next 3 to 5 years because I just think you're losing way too much. I mean, like you said, you got people going to Indiana.
Yeah,
Like,
that or I know people that just drive across the border in Tennessee and place bets
oh,
and then
in
drive back.
Illinois, yeah, just drive across the bridge at in Metropolis, just over by Paducah.
Yeah.
Do that. Go down by Paris, by Old Hazel, go into Tennessee south of Murray, and do it there. I think we should start doing is just getting gas in those states too. That's just what we need to start doing.
Yeah.
We have a comment from our friend Dalton. Said sports gambling is such an easy way for states to get money back from COVID. Every state should have it by now. I would love that.
It just it seems like one of those things that it's weird that it's a state by state thing too, because like you're betting on stuff not, it's countrywide.
Well, so in Illinois, when I do it in Illinois, I cannot bet on Illinois college sports. So like whenever I would bet, like if I bet like an NCAA future on the tournament or something, my bet would say champion or whatever without Illinois colleges.
Okay.
So let's say it was Kentucky and Illinois in the final, my bet would pay out like Kentucky won because if Illinois wins, then it's not a bet. So Kentucky would get the bet anyway. So like I can't bet on SIU, which is hard for me.
Do you want to?
Well, that's a good point.
I feel like that's a terrible idea.
Lately, this is probably a good thing. Thank you, Illinois lawmakers, for not allowing me to lose all of my money on SIU because chances are you are correct. I probably would.
Yeah. No, I just know I'm bad at picking games. Especially when you watch a team a lot, you get to or just like a one team, you get to know them and you're like, they could do this. It might not happen, but they could. Yeah.
Yeah. Like whenever you have anybody in 6A football going against Male or Trinity, like, oh man, they're really good. They're really good. And then they go against them and it's like they forgot what a football was because that happens.
I know Male and Trinity are good. I know Trinity, when they start 0-5, they're still
going to be pretty good.
They're still a top, usually 3 team in the state because the teams that they're losing to are, top teams nationally.
Yeah, they're still pretty good. But yeah, I hit on one bet today. That's all I hit on today. It was a little measly NBA bet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't watch enough to really, make it worth. Like, I watch a lot of sports, but I watch a lot of specific sports. But like outside of that, I don't, I'm not casually watching every single game on Sundays for the NFL. I'm like in the office, so.
But people assume you do.
Yeah, like I've had people I talk to. They're like, I don't think I could ever be friends with you or date you because I don't like sports. And I was like, well, I don't like HR. Like it's my job,
Right? Like I don't like. I'm okay with that. Yeah, like I've dated girls that are like, I don't like sports, and I'm like, okay,
yeah,
awesome.
That might be better, honestly. Yeah,
yeah. Do I like
Sundays,
sports?
Yeah.
No, sports are the worst. Sports are the worst thing that happened to this planet. But I am invested and they will be a part of my life forever. But do I watch a lot? No. But like you said, I watch the teams that I'm thoroughly invested in.
Yeah. And it's honestly in this like field, as you probably know, it's tough to, watch more than that. Cause like,
yeah,
I know like college football season. I love college football. I'll watch as much college football as I can. But my Saturdays are pretty limited because like if I'm on the road or even if I'm at home, here in Bowling Green watching a college football game, covering one of Western's games. I usually get to the field 2 hours before the game. I'm usually staying a couple hours late. The game's, 3-4 hours. So that's like a full day. It eats up all the time, that all the other games are going on. If there's one that I'm interested in, I might put it up on a stream or they might have it going in the press box. But, I don't have the time to just sit and watch every single game.
And if you're a high school beat writer, your Saturday morning, you're probably at a track meet at 8 a.m. And then at 11, you're probably going to have a baseball doubleheader. And then at 3, you may have a softball doubleheader. And I mean, you just don't have time. And it's like, I will watch, there are a few teams, Buffalo Bills, obviously. Shout out Bills Mafia. St. Louis Cardinals, Kentucky basketball, and then SIU, whatever.
Yeah.
That may be it for me.
And I don't know if you're like me, but like sometimes when I'm off, I feel like I just need a break from it, and I'll watch like Netflix or I
Oh,
recently
yeah.
got Hulu too, um,
Oh my
stuff like that.
gosh.
But
You're branching
yeah,
out in the world.
I know it's finally what 2021, 2022, whatever
2022, 2022.
2022. Yep, we're here. We got
Yep.
technology. We're live streaming. Um, but I've gotten into watching like very unique sporting events. Like I'm because I cover Western. I watch a lot of CUSA sports. And you get to know the
Right.
teams around there. You get to know some of their people and stuff. Like in my free time, I watch a lot of CUSA sports, which sounds kind of weird, but
It does. I mean, I would get when I lived in Central Illinois, I would get off work at like 10:30 every night. And when if I went out that night or if I went home, there was the only sporting events on were like West Coast NBA during that time of the year. So like I would watch a lot of Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, like a lot of those teams. But I watch NBA because I'm a basketball fan. Like I don't have an NBA team. I like the Grizzlies. I like John Morant, but and I'm sure this is the same for you. I get more attached to teams that I have connections to.
oh yeah,
Like the other day, our mutual wonderful friend Ed Marlowe um, asked me why I was following Galatasaray, like a Turkish basketball team, and I said I don't know. Somebody probably played for him. Like
yeah,
that's why is um I let you read that. Uh is like I just get connections like in the NCAA tournament. Did I want Kentucky to win? Yeah. Who else was I rooting for? Oh, I was rooting for Alabama because my friend Donovan coaches down there. Oh, I was rooting for Jacksonville State because of Tommy Wade. I was rooting for like these are all the things that happen, and I feel like that's a big thing for me.
yeah. No, and what you said about like the overseas basketball or whatever,
Hmm.
you get to know
Oh man,
some weird stuff covering some of
yeah,
these guys. Like I know too much
yeah.
about the BBL in
Oh
Germany.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like Darius Miller, a former Mason County Star, and
Hmm.
Kentucky standout, played with the Pelicans, and the Oklahoma City Thunder, played in Germany with Rose Bamberg and won a few
Hmm.
titles there. So I know way too much about them. Le Mans and France. Chris Lofton played there. He played in Turkey. Um, some other places, Latvia, South Korea. I broke the news when he signed with a South Korean team. He
Nice.
called me from South Korea at like 5 in the morning. I just happened to wake up. He DM'd me. I had asked him for an interview before that, and he's like, "Hey, I've got some
That's
time
kind of
right now. Do
weird.
you have time?" Yeah, I was like 4 or 5 in the morning. I randomly felt my phone vibrate and woke up, and I was like, "Yeah, I can do it now." So I talked to Chris Lofton at 4 or 5 in the morning from South Korea.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do like maybe not just like a segment, but like an entire show on the weirdest like post game interview and post game like story writing that we because
Oh God.
I feel like we could do an entire episode on the weird stuff we have seen and experienced. But we're gonna have to save that. Our friend Jared Peck, who I
Friend.
spoke so ill will of on our opening episode. Jared is a nice guy. I don't want that to come across like he's not. He is a very nice guy. Jared says, I have almost no room in my head for any sports outside covering high school sports. I make time for soccer because I love soccer, and I keep up with UK because I went there. Then maybe the Cubs. That's pretty much it. So I mean, I feel like that's how it is for a lot of the people in the business. Is number one, we work at the same hours that all the sports are happening, and number two, we have too much going on to be able to be like fully invested. I'm a Kentucky basketball fan. I don't feel like I know the roster until early January, like late December maybe. So it takes me like maybe a month to two like a month and a half into the season to be like, okay, I know who these guys are.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and like the NBA playoffs are going on right now. I don't have any chance to really watch like today especially.
I haven't watched
I'm in the
any
I'm in the
actually.
office pretty much. Yeah, but I'm in the office pretty much all day. I'm waiting on one game to end. Celtics Nets. I have it on the old TV, the old box.
Oh man, you
Oh,
guys do have a super old TV in that
oh, we
office.
we've got the Magnavox,
Yeah,
baby.
you guys do have an old TV in
The
there.
Magnavox.
I
That thing
forgot
has been
about that.
around since probably longer than I have, and it's trusty. It always works. The screen
Mhm.
you might not see the full picture, but
Right.
um, yeah, like I watched 1 minute of that game just because I was waiting for it to be over so I could put the story in the paper. And it was a great finish, Celtics game. They won.
Yeah, I saw.
Last second buzzer beater, but I was at the office all day, so I didn't get a chance to, sit and watch sports all day. I didn't
Mhm.
watch the USFL really when it started last night. I didn't know it was even
I didn't even
happening.
know. I didn't even know
Going
it was
back,
happening either. You texted me
yeah,
last night and said, "Hey, have you watched do you watch the USFL day?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't even know it
yeah,
was on."
no, neither did I. I watched about 10 minutes and I was like, I'm not invested. I'm gonna watch some Hulu.
And I'm a football fan, like, and
Oh,
I'm
I love
one
football.
that, yeah, like, I watch a Bills game, and I will say probably of all the sports right now, all the teams I follow right now, the Bills are the one that when they lose or when they crap the bed, that ruins my week. Like that's a real downer for me. They're probably the only team. Cardinals, happens, but that they're the only one.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I watched 10 minutes of the game. The Birmingham Stallions beat the New Jersey Generals 28-24. There's also a Gamblers
There's
in
a
that league,
gambler.
Tyler. That's got to be your team.
Where are they
I
from?
imagine. Got to be honest, I have no idea. I
Oh,
didn't know that until about 10 minutes before we started recording this podcast.
okay. I'm gonna look up USFL teams.
But
Hey, that's what we're gonna do right now. We'll pick
they're,
a USFL team and we'll ride them to the end.
I got to say the Birmingham Stallions are got to be my team. That probably the closest team to Bowling Green. Birmingham's grown on me. I've got a lot of friends down there now. They've got some great barbecue spots. Meet the Press. This got to talk barbecue a little bit. Dreamland, Saws. About 45 minutes, an hour away. Archbalds,
I'm just trying to find
Stallions.
their
And
team.
plus, that's going to be the home team throughout the entire season because they're playing all these games at Protective Stadium in Birmingham, which is
Okay,
also pretty weird.
so here are the 2022 teams: Birmingham Stallions, Houston Gamblers, Michigan Panthers, New Jersey Generals, New Orleans Breakers, Philadelphia Stars, Pittsburgh Maulers, Tampa Bay Bandits.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Birmingham. That's my
You're gonna
team, man.
stick with Birmingham? Okay. Um,
The
I'm gonna
Maulers?
what?
Do they maul people?
Maulers. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, like they
Yes.
maul people. Okay,
They maul people in Pittsburgh.
it's not
I
like
mean,
the people that go to the malls and just walk around for exercise.
no, I did have a
No.
teacher in high school that did that. But it's the Pittsburgh Maulers, like, like a criminal, like their jerseys
Yeah.
that they look at that look
Okay.
like the yellow and black
Okay.
horizontal stripes that they do.
Yeah. No,
I'm
that's
gonna
not my.
go I'll go Houston Gamblers.
Yeah, I can see that. Houston's a pretty cool city. I like it there.
I'm
But
gonna look
I
at
mean,
their
I didn't watch any
roster.
of that. I didn't watch any of the action today. Like I said, I was in the office. I didn't get my Easter dinner or anything like that.
Man,
I don't really celebrate holidays, so I haven't
I
really
got
got those good holiday side dishes.
I got mine. It was great. Like I was walking through the line at my aunt's house and I look at my dad and I'm like, I think we need bigger plates. And I'm like, or I need to eat less. Like one of the two. We need bigger plates or
You
I
need
need to eat less.
you need
So
bigger plates.
in an ideal world, what would be a side dish? Like your ideal like holiday side dish,
We're
power
we're,
rankings list, however you want to go.
we're stuck talking strictly holiday side dishes, not like proteins, right?
I mean,
Because if you're talking proteins, I mean, you go to Thanksgiving and you automatically say it's not Thanksgiving without the turkey. So I think
right.
side dishes are what we're ranking here,
Right.
right?
We're gonna go side dishes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I still think that depends on
I
what
don't any
holiday
of
we're
these
talking.
guys.
Um, like Easter, you might see deviled eggs out there,
We had
which is
deviled eggs today. I'm not a
yeah,
deviled egg person, but yeah.
oh, that's because you're wrong. It's super underrated food. It's never one that you're like, man, I could go for some deviled eggs right now.
No, it's never like, oh man, I'm
but
really
but
craving the deviled
but you
egg.
see them out, you're like, oh, I'll have a deviled egg or two, and then you taste it, and it's like, damn, these deviled eggs are fire.
No,
Uh,
I've never said that in my entire life. Mashed potatoes, can we agree on that one?
yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't say
Oh,
that's like an exclusive holiday side dish because that's a pretty casual side dish.
okay.
You know,
So
I
like,
look at like a green bean casserole
okay,
because
okay.
that's not something you see day in and day out. That's like a very
That's true. That's
niche
true.
side dish.
We had a corn casserole, and like my aunt makes this cream corn, like just for me. Oh, it's so good. Like it's not awesome for you. Like I literally think it's corn, blocks of cream cheese. That's
Yeah,
literally has to be all it is.
that sounds delicious. Okay,
And it's great because it's in my to go container that's in my refrigerator, and I'm gonna eat it after we get done with this podcast.
um, I you know bread or rolls and stuff. That's not like a traditional. It's a pretty common
Right.
side for stuff. I love just plain, boring brown and served dinner rolls.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
How
those.
yeah, I think stuffing or dressing or however you prepare those
Yeah.
crushed breadcrumbs, um, I think they're a little bit overrated, honestly.
I mean, if it's the issue is sometimes it gets dry. I mean, that's obviously the issue. Sometimes it gets dry and a little bit too crisp.
Well, yeah, sometimes that or sometimes it's too much. You got to find
Too
that
mushy,
right
yes.
that mush to crisp ratio.
Whenever you started that, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna be able to like pull this off. Like I knew there was
I
no way
was
you're gonna be able to do this.
so close. I was so close.
Oh man, we did have a dessert. My little cousin made a dessert today. It was cake and then had like this caramel sauce almost and like Heath bar. Oh, they my mother told me it was called Better Than Sex Cake. That's what it was called. I didn't know that.
Okay, I feel like an old man because I love Heath bars.
Oh,
Like
dude, me too,
nobody
man.
says like when they talk
Dude,
about
Heath
favorite candy
bar.
bars. There nobody
I
says
know,
I would
and I
love
feel
a
like that's
Heath
an old
bar.
person thing. I feel like that's an old
Oh
person
yeah,
thing. Is like, and I love Heath bars. Like, if I get something from, like, I rarely eat ice cream. Like, I'll eat like the yogurt bars, but like, if I go like Sonic
yeah.
and get ice cream, like, I'll get a Heath bar thing.
Oh,
Like,
oh
I
hell yeah,
like Heath bar. Yeah,
hell
it's
yeah,
great.
man.
But
Now you got me craving one of those, to go dishes, to go plates.
okay,
I don't have it though. I had Popeyes.
I have my to go plate, and I'm gonna eat it. It's gonna be delicious.
I'm
But
jealous. I'm
you,
jealous.
you should be. Um, I think that's all the time we have. So mostly because I'm hungry and I don't have to go. We're still out of school tomorrow, so I get to sleep in tomorrow. So I
Do you
gotta.
ever work?
Well, it's a spring break, man.
It's been
We
spring break for like 2 weeks.
no, we just it was just last week. It was just last week.
Man,
Just had Holy
you're living
Week,
you're living
and
the
then
life.
Monday. It's the teacher life, man. You never never know what's happening. But appreciate you all following along this week. We will see you next week. Thank you all.